Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I'll note at the outset that on no planet, literally no planet, is DOGE, Vivek Ramaswamy, Elon Musk, or anyone else working as part of their effort looking into messing with people's Social Security or Medicare benefits. That's not a thing. That is an invented fiction. It's fantasy, and it does not exist. We are here today to talk about budgetary matters and budgetary matters that are brought about as a result of a unique crisis that we've faced over the last 4 years, a crisis that relates to our border security. Border security is something that I've given a fair amount of thought to. So I spent 2 years of my life living on along the U.S. border in the lower Rio Grande Valley of the state of Texas. Beautiful state, beautiful people, loved living and working among them. One of the things that I discovered when I lived there for 2 years was that people prosper when the border is protected. And those who are most adversely affected by lapses in border security, especially by uncontrolled waves of illegal immigration, very often are themselves recent immigrants. And as I observe them in that context, recent immigrants living right on or near the U.S. border, it is their neighborhoods, their children's schools, their jobs, their livelihoods, their safety and security, and that of their loved ones is most directly put at risk when there are uncontrolled waves of illegal immigration. The Biden-created border crisis is as real as it was preventable. Its consequences are as widespread as they are tragic. Americans across every corner of our country, every square inch, are worse off because a combination of criminals, contraband, drugs have flowed across the border freely into the United States. Cities and towns across our country are being overwhelmed by droves of non-citizens being relocated with their own hard-earned federal taxpayer dollars. Fatal fentanyl-caused poisoning deaths are on the rise. And during 1 month alone of last year, U.S. authorities seized enough fentanyl to kill more than 510 million people. To put that in perspective, that's roughly every person, man, woman, and child, in the United States, Canada, and Mexico. That's the number of people who can be killed by the amount of fentanyl seized by U.S. authorities during 1 month of last year. And this was made much, much worse by virtue of the porous border. And violent criminal non-citizens let into our country unvetted by the previous administration continue to murder innocent Americans. We're here today to take the next step in the process that will give President Trump and Republicans in Congress the resources necessary to help end the Biden border crisis. Now, make no mistake, this is a monumental task, and it'll require nothing less than a Herculean effort. But that's why we're here. That's why we're doing this. The funding will be used to deport violent felons, secure our borders, stop illegal immigration, and curb the flow of fentanyl into our country. Importantly, this budget is built on a fiscally responsible foundation, one with new spending fully offset within the first 4 years it's to be spent. This is important, Mr. Chairman, because, of course, what sometimes happens in the past is when funds are appropriated through the reconciliation process, sometimes there's a temptation to take the candy up front and agree to eat the vegetables later, to get the spending now with an agreement to offset it over a 10-year period of time. So if you spend in the first 4 years and plan to pay for it throughout the duration of the 10 years, very often the savings don't materialize. That's not what we're doing here. We're doing it right this time. There's no priority that's more urgent than putting an end to the Biden border crisis. I strongly support this budget as a means to instruct the relevant committees to fund agencies and programs that will enforce our immigration laws, secure our border, stop this deadly, poisonous, toxic flow of fentanyl into the United States, and help make America great again. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.